You were shot in Washington, D.C. Can you tell the people about that night and what happened?
Um, yeah, absolutely. I mean, basically, I went down to DC. It was Howard homecoming. I was just really going to hang out because I knew I wasn't booked that weekend, but I was like, I'm gonna go hang out. I knew Jim and Jewels had parties, so I'm like, I'm gonna go fuck with them. Went down there to hang out, had a good time.
Years ago, Cam was shot in DC for playing a legendary movie role. However, what you probably don't know is that he went on a campaign trolling the people that shot him, and these were allegedly not people to play with. In this video, not only do we take a look behind what happened from insiders, we also find out how Cam really didn't seem to give a and went into his classic next level troll mode as a response.
I'm making it cool. Wait, let me.
But it's not
I'm making it cool to be a businessman.
It's not about business.
It's not about business for you because you feel like it might give you better ratings to portray something negative within the image of hip hop.
It is negative.
It's not negative to be a businessman. It's not negative to take. For example.
Hold it. You're looking at a principle.
Why you don't want to let him talk? You mad? Where'd you start? Current affair, right?
No, wrong.
Well,
you're looking
I got dirt on you, doggy.
Cameron,
I'm gonna get at you in a minute.
You go ahead. You get at me.
I'm gonna get at you in a minute.
Listen,
Before we hear him troll the people that shot him, let's hear what happened from Camron himself.
We went down there pretty deep. You know, it was I probably had like 6 cars with me. I was in my Lamborghini. We had the Rovers. We had the limousine excursion, not a limousine, the excursion with the party. We was pretty good. And basically, I pulled up at a red light. Me and my bro Hud, God bless the dead. He didn't die that night. For those that didn't know, he passed away since then. And we was at a red light, and a guy pulled up next to me and pulled a gun out, and he's waving the gun in my car. You know, a Lamborghini's low to the ground, so I thought it was an undercover police officer because it was so many people outside. It was, you know, this is how a homecoming, the streets was packed. It was a lot of niggas. So I'm like, yo, Hud, you see this nigga waving a gun? And he's trying to open my door, but my doors is locked. But I didn't think nothing like, this gotta be an undercover because a nigga waving a gun, this brazen, so to speak, in front of this many people, it had to be undercover in my brain. So I said, Hud, look at this nigga waving a gun, what's up? So Hud, you know, people who know my brother Hud, it wasn't funny, but the way he said it was funny. He's like, Gil, he called me Gil. He's like, Gil, you think you want to get out of here? Maybe? So I was like, word, because I didn't know if it's undercover or not. And for those people that know, I had the Gallardo at the time, the Lamborghini Gallardo. Once you stop for more than like a minute, the car goes into neutral automatically. So when I went to step on the gas, the car wasn't moving. And once I revved the gas, the nigga just started dumping in the car, shooting. And then I hit the paddle, got out of there, pulled off, you know, basically got away from them. I was with some other people behind me. I skirted on everybody because the homeboy started dumping. And like I said, he did that shit in front of, it had to be like 600 people just on that block. So I pulled out, I jumped on a highway. This was some real movie shit. I don't want to sound like Zeke, because Zeke's stories be sounding crazy. But I jump on whatever highway is the wrong way. And I'm driving on oncoming traffic, like on an I, like if it's I-95, I'm driving on oncoming traffic, weaving all the traffic. And then HUD is like, Gil, they're not behind us. I think we good. But then I look down and I see mad blood. I'm like, yo, I think I hit. I didn't feel nothing, but I was like, yo, I think I'm hit. And so I finally got off the highway, and then the car broke down, kind of like, I can't tell, but it looked like projects. And I'm like, why would we break down right by the project? But the streets is so flooded, it's crazy. So the car break down, I run up the mad people window bleeding like, yo, can you take me to the hospital? They like, yo, get away from here. Like, yo, you all shot up gas. And then one person recognized me, this dude, he's like, oh shit, Cam. I was like, yo, I'm shot. Can you take me to the hospital? So I jumped in with him. It's mad traffic. I'm just sitting in traffic. I'm like, yo, you gotta get me to the hospital. This nigga calling niggas, yo, Cam shot. I got him in the whip. I say, yo, bro, could you just get me to the hospital? And then
You remember his name?
Nah, I actually don't. And I wish I could send him something. Cause when I pulled up, I didn't know where I was bleeding from. I just knew it was blood. And then when I pulled up to the hospital, I just ran in the ER. And then I basically was in the ER, and then, you know, they probably put me to sleep. Everybody came over there. And then when I woke up, the cops was there. They were like, you see, you know, the regular shit, da-da-da. I'm like, I really don't know who did it, et cetera, et cetera. And that's kind of what happened. I ended up actually going to jail behind that shit because I was on probation at the time. And they was like, if you don't cooperate, then we violating your parole because you wasn't supposed to be in DC anyway. I told the judge I was working, and I said, you gave me permission to leave anytime I'm working. And the judge was like, you have to get permission every time you leave. I said, well, I misunderstood. And he's like, well, now you understand, you're on the Rikers. And I did a couple Weekend Warriors on Allen, and that was it. But you know, there's a lot of people circling, and rumors running around saying that I played the part of Alpo, and they don't like Alpo in DC, and that was kind of a couple years after the movie, et cetera, et cetera. But no, I never found out who did it.
Yeah. I want you to tell people, I mean, you told me and I thought it was different, but tell people your most feared way of dying.
Before we hear Dame Dash share his perspective on this situation, let's hear how Cam trolled them on live TV.
What happened was they told me to give up the car, and I looked at him like he was stupid, pulled off, and then he started shooting.
Also, he is the rap star who was shot on the streets of D.C. over the weekend. Police say he was wounded by somebody who was trying to steal his Lamborghini. The rapper apparently ambushed as he was leaving a nightclub.
That scene unfolded early Sunday morning. We get the latest now from Fox 5's Wisdom Martin.
I'm not giving up my car.
Surrounded by members of his record label, hip-hop star Camron walked out of the hospital just a few hours after being shot.
They somebody tried to take my car from me, shot me through the window, and I rode off. That was basically it. It was a sloppy job on their part.
Camron says around 12, he was on his way to a club with a convoy of vans. He says somehow they got separated.
According to police, Camron was here at the intersection of New York and New Jersey in his Lamborghini when he was approached by two suspects in an expedition. One of those suspects got out of the car, walked up with a gun, shots were fired, the suspect got back into the expedition and took off.
Investigators say that expedition ended up crashing into Dario Arnaud's 1995 Honda Accord in the 600 block of U Street Northwest.
And unfortunately, my car, I've only had for a week.
Dario says he didn't realize until later the crash was connected to the shooting.
Holy cow. And I heard that Camron was shot.
Camron and his crew are now heading back to New York.
I'm fine. My arm hurt a little. I got shot twice in the right arm, once in the left.
He says in spite of this incident, he loves D.C. and has no problems coming back.
Don't blame Washington. I'll be back whenever we need to be back. And this isn't a Washington situation. This is just a knuckleheads and ballers situation. You understand? So at the end of the day, I'm not blaming Washington. That could have happened anyway.
Has there been any other rappers that, you know, went to D.C. and never came back?
DC rappers that came to Camron. I ain't seen Camron since he got shot in the Lambo. But all he good though. I was a kid when that happened, cuz. All he gotta do is check in with Big C, Big Virtual A. All he gotta do is check in with me next time he come. He can drive. Camron, if you see this interview, bro, you can drive your Lambo around the city with me. I'm a Camron fan, bro. I swear. I'm trying to come on the podcast too. I'm trying to get over there. But I'm a Camron fan. I fuck with Camron. Like, he can come here now. Back in the day, he might have couldn't. I was a kid. It's new enforcement. It's new reinforcement around here. I'm the big C. I'm the big homie.
That's right. Camron did get shot in D.C., man. They said it was allegedly over him playing Alpo in the movie. I don't know if that's true, though, but that's what they say.
That's what I heard.
You know, I came across a video, and Camron said he was highly against doing the ending scene where he says, I'll snitch, and,
he was.
You know, I'll
That's
snitch
true.
on dudes from D.C.
That's true. And the problem is, you know, it's a movie, but you don't play a guy that snitched on Washington and then go to Washington with a Lamborghini and stay in the same neighborhood that he had issues in for 3 or 4 days. So from what I was told, they were like, yo, you can't just disrespect us and go to Washington and you just played this dude that told on a lot of people from our neighborhood and they just got aggravated. So I think Cam was just playing that. I wouldn't have done that because when he got shot, what the was you doing there in the first place with a drop top? And you just played this man, and you going around the neighborhood where people are going to be triggered, and he got people triggered, and they pulled the trigger, and hopefully he's learned don't do no shit like that. That's why I don't have any convertibles. You know what I'm saying? It's because it could hit you. You know what I mean? That's crazy. To go into that hostile environment after you've done these things and stay for days, you know, you might get shot. I didn't want him to get shot, but he definitely was against it, and it was a bit of an argument, but he still respected it and did it. But also, I wanted him to say that because Paul, you know, homeboy had said that. So if you look at the Feds one of the magazines, they did a story on him, he said this shit. So I just repeated what he said. When he said, still gonna be on my dick, pause. He said, when I get home, it's still gonna be on mine. That's what what I read. Maybe I say allegedly, but I remember reading that, so that's why I put that in there. So really, I understood that he would come home because he told. He told me he told. I had a conversation with him on the phone, but I didn't know he told. Once he told me he told, I was like, yeah, I'll talk to you later. And I wasn't talking to him no more. Because I was like, he was telling me he killed Rich, and I'm like, yo, you know we on the phone, right? He's like, man, I told everything. I told them everything. And then he sent the message to someone else. Like, yo, someone else shouldn't talk so much because I didn't tell, you know, I didn't mention his name. You know? But Jay Black and a lot of the people I'm talking about, that was, you know, Rich Porter's lieutenant. He made the movie with me. So I always wanted to tell it from his eyes because he was right with him. And then because we got hit by work with him, and everyone that I know was working with him, and we were all friends. You understand what I'm saying? Except Daniel. And then, you know, it's like a lot of people were getting money in Harlem. A lot. There's also a prequel to be told, which at some point I would love to do.
Dame produced the classic movie Paid in Full. However, rumor has it that 50 and Cam are joining forces to make the series, and they are cutting Dame out. This raises so many questions. How is this possible? Why are they cutting him out? Is this just promotion for the series and Dame actually is involved? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments.
Absolutely right. I did shoot a video with my arm in a sling and do a song talking about everything, not knowing that my arm was shot, that my nerve was shattered. So after I shot the video and after I did the song, maybe about 2 weeks after that, I had got surgery on my arm. Hold on, let me show you since you're so amp about it. Hold on. Let me show you real quick what happened. I got surgery right here on the arm. I also got shot in my other arm to where it went straight through and didn't hit a nerve. That's why this arm is okay. I also got shot in this arm, but it went straight through and it didn't hit any nerve, so it was able to heal. Basically, okay, pardon me. What happens is now, this right here, it grows 1 millimeter a day, which is smaller than a centimeter. So it's going to take a year or a little bit more to get the feeling all the way back up to here. So right here, from here to here, it grows 1 millimeter a day. So I won't be getting the feeling back in my arm and my 2 fingers, I should say, for maybe a year. But that's exactly what happened. You're right. I shot a video.
Yeah, it's your boy Dan V. Hoods and News. Pulling live. We're not around no neighborhood or nothing. I just want to show y'all a real quick video. This right here is New York Avenue. If anybody remember like 10, 11 years ago, anybody that's like a Dipset fan, I'm the biggest like when I was young, I was like the biggest Dipset fan. This actually right here, when I was like, right here, I actually grew up, Lee Joy Park is actually up the street. We right here in Cecil Quarters area, 5th and O, Cecil Quarters, Florida Park area, 1st and O. We around that area. And this right here is the spot that Camron got shot at. Actually I think right directly right here, because he was coming from the club. And this right here, this is where he got shot at. Now he was talking about he blaming it on the Jay-Z crew. It was nobody from Jay-Z crew. You know what I'm saying? Word on the street, and I'm only saying word on the street. I'm not saying it's 100% proof, but it was word on the street was some bangers from up 5th and O that called that nigga bullshit, and they wanted that whip from him. You know what I'm saying? It was some niggas from the city. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep it on some low-key stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? It's not 100% fact, but it's just word. It's just a word in the street. We just gonna keep it like that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't had nothing to do with no Rockefeller, no Jay-Z, none of that. It was somebody from uptown DC that put in that work. Now, even if it wasn't no 5th Street boys, it was somebody from DC that saw that nigga bullshit. Like, for one, Jay-Z got all that money. Why would he do such an unorganized hit out like that? You know what I'm saying? As it was unorganized. There was some niggas from the city that was walking up the street or down the street, and they saw that nigga bling with the Lamborghini and shit. Saw the nigga probably with the chains on his neck and shit, and caught that nigga bull.
Technically, Cam trolled DC 3 times. First with the movie line, second with going to DC after the movie in a Lambo, then getting on the news and trolling them. However, it seems he's now just sticking to the facts to keep anything from making a bad situation worse. What are your thoughts on this? And if it's true, what do you think about Cam and 50 cutting Dame?
I'm making it cool. Wait, let me. I'm making it cool to be a business.
It's not about business.
It's about business for you because you feel like it might give you better ratings to portray something negative within the image of hip hop.
It is negative.
It's not negative to be a businessman. It's not negative to take. For example.
Hold it. You're looking at a principle.
Why you don't want to let him talk? You mad? Where'd you start? Current affair, right?
No, wrong.
Well, you're looking I got dirt on you, doggy.
Cameron,
I'm going to get at you in a minute.
You go ahead. You get at
I'm going to get at you in a minute.
Listen, you guys.